So I went to see Wreck-It Ralph last night, or as I like to call it, Disney's graphical perspective of a midlife crisis. I left the cinema feeling kind of depressed, to be honest. Yeah, I didn't really like the film at all, to be honest. I don't know whether it's because I'm in a bad mood or something. I've got like a cold and I'm sitting on the floor. I'm not even worthy of the bed. I'm in a bit of despair because people like it, and I just found it to be a very generic film. I think people like it because they have nostalgia for the types of games that were in it. But the storyline was so generic, it was so cliched. You just had a man who was tired of his job. He didn't feel as though people respected his worth. He was lonely. No one really chatted to him. He was always seen as the bad guy. And then he meets some little kid who feels kind of the same way. She's bullied at school. Like, metaphorically, she's bullied at school, but she's actually bullied in a go-kart Candyland, which is highly unrealistic, if I'm going to say anything. And, yeah, and you know how it ends. So I was having a rant about this film, and then my dad came in and asked if I'm staying in for dinner, and it kind of made me think, it's Valentine's Day. Well, it's that day where you either have someone or you don't. But I've never been bothered by Valentine's Day. I've never really had a relationship in Valentine's Day, so I lend no significant value to it because I've never really had to use it in that sense. I can't even remember if I've sent like a Valentine's card, even as like a kid or something. I probably have, just as the procedure of the time. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, what do most people do on Valentine's Day? I suppose you go to a restaurant and then with your spouse, or whatever you want to call it, and then you have a meal, which I presume it's kind of like a first date remembrance or something, in a way, but not quite like your first date, because your first date or your anniversary is like kind of awkward. You're sort of sitting there judging each other's, or judging yourself more or less. You're thinking, this person's a bit weird, but he's better than the last few days I've had. And I'm thinking, my hair looks a bit weird, or I'm breathing too loudly. That would be quite disturbing if someone did that at a date, I think. Valentine's Day is when you're supposed to appreciate it, but in a way it's kind of like a half-assed attempt at like rekindling the initial romance you had, because relationships go from, oh, I love you all the time, to, yeah, you're right, you're a stable rock, you're the foundation in which I rest my sentimental values upon. Come back next week. Hopefully I won't have a cold. I have some ideas for some sketches or some slightly more deliberately designed to entertain videos, ones in which I'm not casually sat back, and hopefully will have some conciseness to them, a planned. See you later. Bye.